In this video, I'm gonna do a full breakdown over everything we learned from Naughty Dog's big reveal for their next standalone multiplayer game, The Last of Us Factions 2. Dr. Pooplove here, and finally, after being in the dark for so long, Naughty Dog has given us a glimpse on what they have been working on for their next multiplayer project. Up until now, we have been surviving by looting and scraping together mere morsels of information from job postings, data mines, and cryptic tweets. But today, Naughty Dog has finally opened their big, beautiful mouths, and what they showed us may not seem like much at first glance, but when you dig a little deeper, there actually is a ton of new information to glean from this. So let's just get right into it. And for those that may have not been following this saga as closely until now, it's been quite a journey. And well, you know what? You heard this story from me enough. Let's have Neil tell it.
So one of the things we've mentioned a while back is what started out as a multiplayer mode has evolved due to the team's ambition. They really wanted to do something beyond what we've ever done before at Naughty Dog. And we felt the way to do it justice is to make it a standalone title. And they've been working on it for the past 2 years. Ambition has grown, and we're not quite ready to fully unveil it, but we're ready to lift the curtain a little bit and just give you like an update of where we're at.
Now, from here, Neil goes on to reveal some concept art, which gives us a lot of great hints about this game. Let's take a look. And the first thing you might notice is that this location looks a little new. You have what I thought at first was the Golden Gate Bridge, but actually this is the Bay Bridge. Either way, this is taking place in San Francisco, which is awesome. This is such a beautiful place. It has a lot of hills, which will make for some very interesting moments of verticality, I'm sure. It also looks like we may get to go to some really cool places like Alcatraz. This kind of looks like it off in the distance. Also, what if they have a section with a redwood forest? Would be really cool. And I'm sure Lombard Street will be the checkpoint of this new locale. But also, what is interesting about this being a new location is that I think we can expect some brand new factions. Not the WLF, not the Scars, but the factions that formed during the outbreak and downfall of San Francisco in the Last of Us world. These factions, I'm sure, will have their own lore and their own story, seemingly completely separate from that of the main storyline that we know from Part 1 and Part 2. And Neil does confirm that this game will have a story.
This game is big.
Okay.
It's as big as any of our single-player games that we've done, and in some ways bigger. It's got a story. The way we're telling that story is very unique to this game. It's got a brand new cast of characters. It takes place at another place, another part of the United States.
All right, so what else can we gather from this photo? Well, of course, let's look at the people here. You see a guy with a bow and a Molotov, and a girl with a hunting rifle and a machete. And might I say, I don't see a shotgun here, so maybe that's a good thing. The guy does look like a Firefly a little bit, and she has some hunter vibes, which is kind of interesting, although I don't know that these are actually the factions that these two actually belong to. I do think it's possible that our favorite hunters and Fireflies could make a return to the city. Perhaps the hunters have fully scavenged Pittsburgh and make their way west. But of course, I think I'm most excited to get some rich backstory on new factions that we've never heard of. But these two characters are up on a rooftop, peering down into a vast open landscape. And like many have speculated, this appears to be some sort of an open world game. Previous data mining has suggested that a battle royale mode was in the works, and so that definitely seems likely to be part of this game. Of course, I would still expect our beloved arena shooter modes to return, like supply raid and interrogation. But there is yet even more to glean off of this picture. Look down here. There's a lone wolf fending off a horde of infected. It looks like the most requested feature for the original factions is actually coming, and we will get to face off against the infected as well. Perhaps they would be blended in with the Battle Royale mode to make for an interesting, fresh new take on the genre. And other things that we see here are what looks like a dust storm of some sort and fires off in the background, suggesting that there may be dynamic events that take place on the map. And we do know that Naughty Dog has been inspired by Fortnite in creating their new games. So I do think we kind of expect some sort of live dynamic events to take place where maybe parts of the world are changed or a new faction comes to town. And another thing is, I'm sure with all these broken down buildings, Naughty Dog is just flooding this world with environmental storytelling, just like that we have come to expect from the single player stories. But that's not all. Naughty Dog also released a blog post where they give some new information about their new standalone multiplayer. And they explain that they are creating something larger than just a mode, which further backs up what we've been talking about, that this is likely an open world experience, in addition to containing legacy modes that we're more familiar with. They say that it's a massive scope and an immense world, and that it's in line with what we expect from Naughty Dog, that Naughty Dog level of quality. And it's really cool as a multiplayer fan to know that we're going to get that level of quality and not maybe be just an afterthought. They also say that they're aiming to make their newest entry inviting to new players while still a thrilling challenge for our more seasoned fans. And this is great news because the original factions did have a bit of a learning curve, so it did, in a way, I believe, sometimes deter newer fans from getting involved. But also, as someone who's been playing this game for so long, I can't wait to face off against some real big challenges. And so, Pooper Troopers, I am so excited about this, and it just feels so good to finally have some information. But Neil, did I miss anything here?
It's being headed by Vinith Agarwal, Anthony Newman, and Joe Pantnetti, all veterans of Uncharted and Last of Us, and you're going to see a lot more of this game come next year.
All right, so there we have it. Finally, a glimpse of what we can expect. I can't wait to hear more next year, but in the meantime, if you want to catch up on what's going on with the original factions, then you should check this video out. But otherwise, so long, Pooper Troopers. Oh yeah, and here's the secret poop.